Hi everyone. Thank you to the Life Changes Trust for inviting me along to this webinar. My name is Amy Gill and I work for Reach Community Health Project as a dementia link worker. Reach has a range of different services and projects that are actually currently up and running, which seek to improve the mental health and well-being of the ethnic communities in Scotland. With the funding that was provided by the Life Changes Trust for a period of 18 months, we were able to establish our dementia-friendly group, working with the South Asian communities within the Glasgow area. To our knowledge, this project has actually been the first of its kind to be delivered in Scotland. So we have supported people with early stage dementia, and for those caring for them. We also provided a comprehensive family support package to help strengthen resources available to those families who needed the most support. The group that we actually worked with consisted of 8 families. When engaging with the families, it also became apparent that it wasn't just about the person that had dementia themselves, it was actually creating a unit of support basically for the families as going along as time went on as well. Building up the trust amongst the families was a big part of my role itself as well. Being able to talk about dementia itself, being a listening ear basically for them played a big part, like I was saying, in my role as well. Helping the participants attending the group to adapt to the new experience of talking about dementia and about their own experiences of dementia was new for me as well as for the families going forward as well. What I learned from the families when I actually went to visit them on a one-to-one basis, and the feedback that I actually got from each individual session as time went on, this actually helped me to actually engage with the families even more and actually helped me to plan activities for their sessions. We asked everyone how they were feeling before and after attending dementia-friendly groups as well. It was vital to get these things right for them and for myself to actually meet with the cultural needs that I was trying to address with the group as a whole as well. For example, being able to adapt to different cultures was very important. Even though we say that we're actually talking about the ethnic minorities group as a whole, but for in this instance, there was the South Asian community I was actually dealing with, but in this, there was actually a subgroup that was actually created within my large group as well. And I realised that sometimes after speaking Punjabi was not appropriate for everyone to listen to, and I was actually attending group as well. And sometimes I felt as well to explain Punjabi and Urdu, the different dialects that we had to use as well. And I had to think a bit of equivalent word in Urdu, because I speak Punjabi myself, to actually get families to understand. Some of the words that I used in Punjabi as well did not have the same meaning in Urdu. So it was a learning curve for myself as well. And as time went on, I heard on about, how to use different phrases and different meanings of different phrases as well, and talking to those that were actually using these different phrases and speech. Not only did I learn about addressing different culture needs through engaging with the families and through these sessions, it turned into a bit of a history lesson for myself as well, which took the people that were actually in the group a way back, thinking about how lives were for them before they actually moved from the native homeland to come to Scotland. So again, it informed me about what they had to go through, what their journeys were, and it became a bit of a storybook for our group, and we sort of turned into one big family. The participants that actually included that we've been working with during lockdown and throughout the pandemic, I've been keeping in touch in regular contact on a weekly basis, offering information and support by telephone as well. They've agreed to share their journey and let me record an interview with them, which I will be sharing in this event with yourselves as well. I always spoke Punjabi to the people that I was actually dealing with and families, and also this couple as well, but they spoke to myself back in Urdu. They're more at ease, I believe, as well, communicating in their own mother tongue. And in the interview, the carer actually opens up about her anxiety and how she's able to actually, go through the journey and have me the listening ear. And obviously to reassure her and her husband about what the group actually involved going forward as well. And prior to this as well, I visited the family a couple of occasions before lockdown as well. So they're obviously quite comfortable talking to myself in Punjabi. And they were actually talking about dispelling their fears about coming along to the group and the concerns that they had obviously going forward, and about the fear of not knowing what's actually in the group. So trying to reassure them as I was meeting them, on a weekly basis, doing the home visits with them as well. So when I interviewed them, I spoke in Punjabi, as I always do, but the carer spoke back to me in Urdu as well. However, in the interview that you'll be about to watch is in English as well. It's to protect the couple's identity, which is very important going forward, enabling the carer to speak up openly, and we agreed to translate the interview. So here you'll hear my colleagues' voices. My colleague and I roleplay interview in English. I play myself. A big thanks to my colleague Mandeep for helping and supporting me, who actually speaks the carer's words. And the carer and the husband also use pseudonyms for themselves as well. So on that basis, to introduce you to Bushra, who will talk about what living with dementia means for her and her husband, Mo, and about their experiences of coming into the group. Thank you. Hi, my name's Amy Gill, and I'd like to thank Uncle G and Auntie G for coming along to be interviewed today. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. So we'll be asking a couple of questions to yourselves, Auntie G, to talk about the Reach Community Dementia Friendly Group. And start off with, again, like I was saying, thank you very much for attending the interview. So Auntie G, can you just ask first question, how did you hear about the Dementia Friendly Group at the Reach Community Health Project?
Well, thank you very much, first of all, for inviting me and my husband Mo along to attend this. Yes, we had visited our GP practice and our nurse informed us about the service and gave me a flyer about the project.
Okay, that's great, good stuff. Our second question, Auntie G, it's more about what motivated you to actually attend the group. So can I just ask, what made you decide to attend the group in the first place?
Well, I was very scared and very worried and concerned about my husband's health. And looking at the flyer in my mind, I had thought maybe attending the group may be able to change his mood and
Mm-hmm.
that I may be able to meet new people and that I can share my everyday experiences with them to alleviate some of my depressions away. In
Okay.
my mind, we were given a new opportunity to meet new people. Like I said before, it was a chance to share experiences.
Good, great. That's great. Thank you very much for sharing that. And you can just ask, did you both attend the group, the dementia friendly group?
Yeah, well, we both attended the group. Amy, you visited our house 3 times
Yep, that's it.
to offer and give as much information on the project as you could, all in Punjabi. Although I speak Urdu,
Mm-hmm.
I understood your Punjabi, Amy, to help us understand it and gave me and my husband much support as you could to persuade us to attend, leaving the door open for us both to attend, and not just my husband, as I was scared to leave him by himself.
Did you feel a bit more relaxed leaving your husband then? Like obviously after you'd actually engaged in our session.
Yes, when I found that he was very comfortable with the volunteers, and he took part in activities and he was more happy, then yeah, I did feel comfortable.
Good stuff. Great. Okay, so Auntie, you can just move on to the next question, please, as well. So, Auntie, how did you feel before you attended the first session?
Well, before I attended, I was very depressed,
Mm-hmm.
upset and sad, and I felt I was getting myself down. I looked at my husband's health and how he had become so detached from me, and this got me even more upset and distressed.
Right. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much again for sharing that. And did you ourselves? Moving on to our next question. And how did you feel after you attended your first session at Reach Community Health Project, the dementia group?
Well, we felt and left very happy from the first session, and felt that a load of depression and unhappiness had left our minds. Talking to Upney people in our language was very comforting, and we wanted to stay in the group longer, and made us increasingly wanting to attend further sessions. My husband was very happy and listening to Sandok. Do you remember Sandok singing old Punjabi and Hindi songs? Took my husband back to the old memories from when we first met. My husband forgot for a moment that he had dementia when attending the group in the first instance and listening to the songs of Gubby Gubby or Bottom Back when we first met. Your uncle Amy loved listening to Muhammad Rafi songs. It felt like we felt like one big family, learning about other cultures and learning new words in other languages. Yeah, it's great.
That's great. Thank you very much for sharing that. I really appreciate it. So just a couple more questions to ask Andy as well. So we're now looking at how did you feel your expectations were they met at your sessions? Do you feel that Reach actually fulfilled your expectations coming into the sessions?
Well, we felt that the sessions, yeah, met with our expectations 100%, and fulfilled our needs that Amy, you had initially informed us about. Our anxiety levels were at low levels when we left um, the group after, when we left the group after each session, and talking to everyone made our hearts felt lighthearted. When we arrived to the centre, it seemed like a very large, and we were very wary and scared of going in. And I did not want to leave my husband by himself, as we thought it would be a small group. As the word dementia is not recognised amongst our communities, but when we arrived, you were very welcoming, and we were very overwhelmed by happiness to see other people from our community who had similar needs to ourselves.
That's great. Thank you very much for sharing that. It's it's obviously very warming listening to what you're saying as well, going forward as well. So just a couple more questions, Angie, before you actually wrap up the short session that we're actually interviewing you for as well. So Angie, how long did you attend the dementia friendly group before the pandemic?
Well, I think we attended the centre at least 15 to 20 times before lockdown. We missed the people that me and my husband made friends with. But Amy, you have been keeping in touch by phone and have sourced us some iPads. We will be able to meet each other again, which is really good.
Yeah, the whole idea is to actually connect again through the iPads, through a virtual. We've actually getting the group together, so looking forward to actually touching base again.
Definitely.
Obviously, we touched on the phone, so we have, so we'll be touching to actually see each other as well.
Yeah.
So, Angie, thank you again for sharing that. So, can I just ask as well, Angie, before the pandemic, what would you say was your biggest benefit for you attending dementia friendly group?
Well, for both of us, it was an outing we look forward to, meeting up every fortnight, and getting out of the house relieved some of our everyday stresses and anxieties. We look forward to the activities, and look forward to seeing and being with everyone
Hmm.
again. The depression and anxiety would go seeing the others. My husband Mo felt less agitated when attending the sessions as time went on, and I could leave him with one of the volunteers to do his own thing. As all the staff spoke Punjabi and Urdu, which we understood, it was so easy to communicate, and he could be doing an activity with one of the volunteers, putting my mind at ease and releasing some of the tension I was experiencing as a carer. Looking at my husband, I just felt really happy.
Oh, that's great. Thank you very much for sharing that. So, Angie, did you just obviously a couple more questions to go through? Given these unprecedented times at present with COVID-19, how have you, as a carer, how has this been affecting you in certain times that we just talked about and touched on just now as well? Can you talk about your mental health, and if you can share a couple of
Uh-huh.
more?
So yeah, as a carer, my own mental health was suffering during lockdown.
Hmm.
Mo couldn't even explain to me what he was going through. I felt I was on my own with no support apart from a listening ear from you at Reach. My heart did want to speak. My heart just did not want to speak to anyone. I put all my focus and attention into my husband Mo, and in these unprecedented times, thinking I'm doing enough, but actually forgetting about my own self and getting myself even more depressed.
Yeah, understand that. The touching part as well. Angie, thank you very much for sharing that. Angie, just a couple more questions before we come to end the session. Sandra, just let me ask, if Reach Community Health Project was not there, it was not in existence, where would you have gone to source out additional support for yourself and for your husband?
Well, if Reach had not been there, I think for myself, I would have been more depressed, alongside my husband. I don't know of any other ethnic groups that support us in the way that Reach and you do, Amy. We had no food at some point. We did not know what food bank parcels were. You explained that you could assist us in getting one for us, helping us also get white goods. Amy, you listened, and you spoke the language. which helped us to get the right support. You're so nice to talk to. You know, just talking to you alleviates, man, some of my anxieties. And you also gave me, remember the short-term goals?
Yep, that's
To
it.
work on with my husband. I phone you nearly what every week, and you also phone me every 2 weeks, which is great to ask how we're getting on. So thank you very much for that.
No problem. You're more than welcome. It's good to chat. That's the main thing. That's the main purpose as well. So, Andy, you can just ask as well. Obviously, we're under lockdown just now, but looking ahead, when we get an opportunity to go back to the centre, what sort of would you like? Do you make any changes to the service provision? Any changes to activities? Can you suggest any examples if you have any as well to go forward with?
Well, after lockdown, obviously we want to come back. We want to go back to see the Bollywood films. We want to see everyone again
Yeah,
and do our outings to the museum like we did before,
yeah,
and be comfortable. You know, just generally to know some people that understand our culture and language. And lastly, to obviously see my husband Mo smile again. Obviously, he it was the first time doing a jigsaw. That he did a jigsaw and a painting. You know, it was just lovely, and to see that he did that for the first time and he really enjoyed it. So we'd definitely like to do that again.
great stuff. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate for sharing your story with ourselves today, and I thank you very much from Reach Community Health Project. Thank you.
That's absolutely fine,
Thank you.
Amy. Thank you very much. Please
No
let me
problem.
know if you would like any more information. I'm more than happy to help.
No problem. Thank you. That's great. Thank you.